you go. Okay. Okay, so we're working on rear mount escapes, this time when our partner has a collar choke grip on us. And we'll have a couple different scenarios, guard scenarios that we come up into after, let's turn this way a little bit, after we get out of this position. So first and foremost, Trey's choking hands over the top, his choke kind of setting arm is under the bottom, and his thumb is up in my collar here. And this hand can be in a couple of different positions, but for today and this week, we're gonna be focusing on kind of the standard collar choke grip. So first grip I'm gonna make is come across my body, make 4 fingers in the sleeve, and start to pull the elbow down and in front. And then I'm just gonna double up on the sleeve, up and above the elbow, to get a 2-on-1 grip to give me a little bit of breathing room here as that choke's coming in. Now, just like previous week, I'm gonna pull my right foot up, extend my left foot down, and that tips us to this weak side of Trey's where it's a little bit harder for him to get his finishes, and it's a little bit easier for me to get my escapes. So, 2 things I'm gonna be looking to do kind of simultaneously is escape my bottom hook and escape my head. So the first thing I'll do is escape my bottom hook. I kind of limp my leg free, drive my knee out between the legs, and I start to walk out and around this bottom hook of Trey's. As I'm doing that, I'm also escaping my head where I pull my chin to my chest, and I start to drive out of Trey's grip that he had around my neck. Now, yeah, you can pull that arm out for a second. Once this scenario occurs, it's gonna be a good idea for Trey to climb on top. It's unlikely, he's gonna go back down for a second, it's unlikely he's gonna allow me to just turn in and take top position. So he's gonna be stepping this leg up and over to get to the mount. And if I can, there's 3 guards really that I can utilize from here. The first 2 would be I catch his knee with my shoelaces, I then feed my other knee through, and I kind of get to this shelved position. And if Trey squares his knees up, drops his knee to the mat, I'm then just going to use my butterfly guard, come on up. If he stays in this kneeling position, say I'm just doing a really good job of keeping this leg lifted, I can also grab the ankle, extend my left leg pass, throw my foot onto the hip and get to single leg X. Or I can also allow this leg to come around, turn, allow Trey to drop his knee to the mat, and use my half guard. So just drop the knee to the mat, boom, try to get to my half guard instead. So we've got 3 scenarios. We've been focusing on butterfly and single leg X, but it's something that came up in practice today was that half guard is also a good option. So one more time here, Trey's gonna pop onto my back. He's got this collar choke grip. So I go 4 fingers in the sleeve, I reach around the corner, find some slack, and I pull this elbow out and around the corner here. I bring my right leg up, I extend my left leg out to the side, and I can get force this weak side position for Trey. Now I'm gonna limp my left leg out, bring my knee through the gap, start to walk my butt around the corner. I'm also at the same time escaping my neck and chin and framing his hips away as I start to get out and away from him. Once again, in this scenario here, Trey's gonna look to come up and step over. As he does, I look to get my shoelaces underneath his knee here, and I can bring my knees together, square up, extend, come up into butterfly guard, or with the shelved position, look for an ankle, kick my bottom leg through, come up into single leg X, or as we mentioned before, we might come up into a half guard position instead. All 3 great guards. It really just depends on how that person is stepping over once we successfully escape that rear mount position, and then also what guards you favor as you start to kind of counter attack. So rear mount escape, this is week 2. We've got 1 more week coming up, and we'll see you next week.